First off, thank you so much for asking this question because in fact, we are so used to having access to the web that we forget that only 47% of the world's population, we're right at 7.3 billion right now, world population, only have access to the web. And the predictions are threefold. So first, let me start with as the web gets bigger in the amount of those that are connected to the web, what we're going to be able to do, and this makes my heart and my mind so happy, is we're going to get to solve the bigger problems. I actually had a speech on this last week, and it was really exciting because I talked about, first, when we first focused on connecting the developed world about 21 to 24 years ago, okay, we were looking at new and better ways to one, disseminate information. Again, we were in the information age, we weren't in the intelligence era yet. Second, to foster collaboration. And third, to conduct commerce and communications. But when we're talking about the developing world, sure, we're focused on those benefits, but we're looking at solving some really core, really big problems that we don't think about on a daily schedule because they're not part of our reality. And we're going to have such an opportunity to solve the bigger problems. And by that, I mean education, hunger, medical and healthcare. I mean, look at Watson right now and think about connecting that via the cloud to the developing countries and how that can be such a boon to, heck, universal healthcare. Also, using the web to ignite new industries. You know what I do in my classes and my speeches is I give really detailed information. I say, you know what? We're using SMS and text to send emojis, and that's great. But Kenya now has 43% of its population using SMS for M-Pesa, mobile Pesa, to ignite new industries, new currencies, and banking and the like. And we're going to be able to really look at raising standards of living. So I think it's going to be a real interesting time for us to be able to say, wow, we're able to make the web bigger, but in doing that, we're able to start solving the really big problems. So that's number one. Number two of three is this is something that's always fascinating, but I like to explain to folks that it's not just that the web is changing in how many folks will be connected to it, but the web is going to change more, David, over the next 5 years than it has over the past 20. And the way I really describe it is that it's not going to look, act, or quote unquote live where it used to. For instance, where we're used to a portable web, we're going to more of a wearable one, and heck, embeddable with IoT and Internet of Things and being able to embed computing and connectivity into the physical world. So right now, we really make a distinction here in almost 2017 between the digital world and the physical world. But the physical world, now that we have these sensors that are really, really small, and now that we have connectivity, and now that we have data analytics and capture and processing, we're looking at, quite frankly, digitizing the physical world. And look how far artificial intelligence is coming so we can really look to distribute intelligence everywhere. So, our kids and the centennials are going to be like, how funny that you made a distinction between the digital world and the physical world. We've long built marketing programs and business plans around content and content marketing, but that's only half the puzzle. Content's still king, but context is his kingdom. So we're really able to start marrying those two. What I said before about from engagement to experience, whether it's virtual reality, augmented reality, heck, holography and mixed reality coming, we're really going from a time of engagement to experience. And just think about our interfaces. Think about the fact that we still use so much typing and a QWERTY keyboard when the web starts to become more human with gestures and conversational computing. and commerce and the like. And the web is going to go from being responsive. Think about right now, we're constantly inputting information at the front end so that we can get answers. But where is it going? It's going to predictive. So we're really going from a time where we are fixated on our devices. Heck, we even have text neck now because we look down at our mobiles so much. We're checking them 200 times a day. We're going from a time where we are fixated on the web to the next decade. That web is going to become focused on us, whether it's in the digital world or the physical space. So while the web will become more pervasive, David, it'll become less disruptive to us because it won't be humans with more machines. It'll be machines that do more for humanity. So that's the second way. And third and lastly, I can tell you my biggest prediction is that the biggest thing that will change over the next 10 years, ironically, will mirror exactly the same biggest change that happened over the past 10 years, and that is us and our expectations. The true technological revolution has nothing to do with devices or data, information, and the like. It has to do with how personal and how permanently technologies are changing our expectations. Look at companies that are 100% built upon new user expectations. Uber, Amazon, eBay, Grubhub, Alibaba, and the like. And that's just for expectations, David, in the developed world. Think about just how much higher and bigger our expectations will become, to come back to my first point of the web getting bigger and solving the bigger problems, with bigger and bigger expectations we'll have. It is truly magnificent to think right now. And I actually hope I get to hear this podcast 10 years from now to see and to look back on my predictions, but to really think about how much the web, the world, and our expectations are absolutely going to change, and for the better, over the next 5, 10, 15 years.